I'm pretty excited that there's 14 hunts booked this year, and a couple of them are double ups, as in there's 2 blokes coming with me, so a couple of mates, father, son. Yeah, so super pumped to get into it. So basically doing a bit of a scout, dropping some gear off, and really getting my fitness levels right up there so I can perform at my peak when I need to. So anyway, yeah, so if you're a returning viewer, a subscriber, thanks for your support. This is where it all started with this channel, was with you guys. And then just recently, I've started up the Patreon page, and I've got some massive support over there too now, which is really keeping this channel alive, which is awesome. For everyone that's over there, thank you for your support. I really do appreciate it. I know economically, we're in some pretty tight times where a lot of people are struggling a little bit, and a lot of guys have dropped off, a lot of people have dropped off just because of that financial situation has changed, and yeah, 100% it's hit everyone. So but if you are in a position where you can jump on board, there is a heap of content on Patreon that is not available anywhere else. There's like 32 podcasts. Some of them go for an hour. Majority of them are 20 to 40 minutes. So there's a ton of content there. They're like stories, hunting stories. They're questions from patrons. They're just general deer hunting questions that get asked all the time, answered. I've also got a bunch of video content on there that's not available on YouTube, so it is quite easy to leave it on Patreon and not have to deal with YouTube's rules and regulations and all the rest of it. So if you're humming and hawing about it, jump over there. There's a free level. Excuse me. There's a free level. There's a bunch of content there that you can get for free. Jump up to the $5 tier and you're going to have a heap of content, and so on and so forth, all the way up to a hunting mentor, which, for a month you get to talk to me on the phone, emails, text messages. We talk about maps. We can, discuss hunting plans and all the rest of it. So there's a bunch of different content there. There's a heap of different levels, and I'm getting some great feedback from that. Don't forget that I do have a website, zebrashunting.com. Jump over there and you'll see that I've also got the online course and group courses. The guided hunts are booked out for the year, and they did book out within 7 days. So I really don't need to advertise the guided hunts anymore. They're that popular that people just basically come onto a waiting list, and when I'm prepared to release dates, I message those people, and basically all those hunts just fill up. So if you are looking to come on a hunt with me, get in contact with me through that contact form on my website, and that'll start the process and get you a step closer anyway. If you're just sort of new to hunting, I've got so much content out there that's going to help you become successful. That online course is getting great reviews, great feedback. It's got a community forum that I'm active on. So if you've got a question from the course, put it on the forum and you'll get an answer straight from me. So it's really interactive. It's not like a book or anything like that. It's ongoing. It's downloadable. Once you pay for it, it's yours. You can keep it on a hard drive and take it wherever you're going. So check it out if you're new to hunting. If you would like to come on a weekend with me, there's plenty of spots available for hunter education. It's a run over a weekend up at Dargo on the Wanangata River, and that also has had some great feedback. So if you want to push your hunting this year, 2024 is the year, get in contact with me. I can help you out. Anyway, it is super warm today. I think it was like 21 degrees or something at home. Did drop down to 14 or 15 where I parked the ute, but in the bush it feels hot. It's going to be 30 tomorrow, so I'm sweating a bit, but stick with me. Hopefully I can get onto some deer, but I have got a bunch of new gear with me. It's maiden voyage, so we're going to get to have a look at how it performs. And if you haven't noticed, it's not my usual rifle either, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that little Howa there, why I've got it, and yeah, what I reckon of it. It's a pleasure to carry. It's only just right on 2.5 kilos with that scope on it. So anyway, I'm about halfway in. I've just decided to drop the pack off the shoulders because it was starting to weigh on me. It's about 10 kilos more than my average pack weight when I come in here. So we're running around the 23 kilo bracket plus the rifle. Yeah, but the old Tatonka, big external frame, is making light work of it, even though it is heavy. So yeah, it's another bit of kit that I've got for this year to help me get some gear in and out of the bush a bit easier. So anyway, better stop talking and start sweating again going down the hill and get some gear set up for this evening's hunt. Yeah, beautiful day, should be fishing. Just got camp all set up. Yeah, just having a bit of a chew. Probably work a bit better in winter when they ain't all sweat in the plastic, but goes alright with these, I reckon. Bloody mozzie's about. Alright, it's about 5 o'clock. 3.5 hours till dark, so I've still got plenty of time. I don't reckon deer will be moving much this time of year. Never actually been in here in February, so trying to find a deer might be a little bit difficult, but sort of stick with the river. And when I was coming down the hill, I could see into some gullies that looked pretty dark, so shaded from the sun. But so we're going to concentrate in those areas. But I'm not really fussed if I don't see too much. Anyway, good to be back in camp. A bit of a scout around for a spot for this drum. I'll get some water, so I'm going to have to go to the river, I think. I think the creek will have any water in it. It's pretty dry. But I'll go in there for a look because it's nice and shady in there. There could be a deer in there. Bust one out and pop it with this new gun. scent. One was a hind and the other one was just a young stag growing. And he had a little bit of velvet, might have been a spiky. It's about where I thought there'd be deer, so it's still really warm. It's just before 6 o'clock in the evening. But yeah, my scent was drifting down into this gully and they must have been bedded up in the shade just over there and they've just pushed up out of there. Could have got a quick shot into either of them, but not that interested just yet. Just saw a half-handy brown snake, so it's got me on edge a bit, but it was to be expected. Saw one on the drive up here as well. Anyway, I'm just going to grab a heap of water. Yeah, there's not really a lot of sign, but it's that time of year when it's real hard to see deer sign. The ground's so hard you can't see prints. Their droppings dry out so quick, and, you know. But there's deer up in that gully and we push them out. And just get some water here. I'm going to slip around the edge of the river here. This face up here is practically shaded all afternoon, so I've got a feeling that they might migrate there in the afternoon to get out of that afternoon sun. I know there's some nice beds there, so I'll sneak up on them beds and see if I can bump one out. The sun's dropped right down now, and I've done a bit of a walk around the edge of the river, but as usually is the case, the wind wasn't real good, and I didn't see anything or bump anything out, but a little bit of stag sign there, and you can sort of see a bit just in the long grass. It's pretty hard to sort of decipher, but you can tell there'd been animals in the grass, so I saw a couple of spots there where it looked like they'd been bedding and rub tree, and I see just really faint tracks in the grass. So they're here. Could be across the river. This is basically where I shot Wonky Donkey back in December or whenever it was. So I've got to punch up the hill to get back to camp. So I've got a bunch of water on, so I'm pretty heavy. I just slowly make my way up, and as I come up I can see in. And if I see something I'll have to run back, but if I stay down here I can't really see much. So it's 10 to 7 in the evening. Just glass this hind and yearling up. They're about a K away, so they're pretty safe. But it's cool to see some unalarmed deer all the same. Where they are, it's just sort of gone into shade now, so most of the day that would have been hammered by sun. So, I haven't done a lot of summer hunting, so I'm guessing that they just find a bit of shade, even if it is on the sunny face. So, you know, yep, they obviously look
for cooler conditions, but if they're not pressured and their feed is not far away, they will find somewhere to bed that's in the shade, probably in a bit of breeze, and they'll be quite happy there. Just spotted a third one, but it's not in a frame at the moment. Down and to the right, there's a bit of a stick sticking up above the tops of the trees. I just saw its back line cruise through there. I think it was just another hind, but I might just watch this for a little bit, because where they are I can comfortably get there. Sure, this was the third one. It's just a touch lower than where those other two were. Oh, there's another one. Oh, it could be them. Or it could be a hind and another yearling. It didn't just disappear on me, so they might have just moved down a little bit. Be on the same level as the third deer that I saw. We'll just see if three pop out. Number 3, spiker a little bit. Took a while for it to appear, but patience. Well, it's just about dark. I've spotted one more way over there, but it's too dark for the camera and it's too far away and to see what it was. But anyway, saw another one, and yeah, didn't see anything over here. Lots of country where I'd normally see deer in winter. I'm not seeing any deer, but anyway, I didn't think I was going to see heaps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to head back while I've still got a little bit of light, because got a headlamp in this bag here, but it's buried and I just couldn't be bothered getting it off and digging around to find it. So I'm going to sneak back to camp in the daylight and show you what I'm doing for tea, because I didn't bring a cooker. So it's all no cooking for this trip, just to save a bit of weight, a bit of room. I didn't really have much room left in that barrel. So yeah, no cooking at all for this trip. Alright, we'll get back there and have a look at it. Righto, here's dinner. Some wild caught tuna with lentils, sweet corn and Thai black rice. Gonna wrap them up in these spicy Mexican wraps. Turkish delight for dessert. And then in the morning I've got a brekkie bar and an up and go, which I didn't see that it was dairy free, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. What's it got in it? Who would know? If it's dairy free, what is it? Almond or something. Oh, here we go. Contains soy protein. Yeah, it's full of crap probably. Anyway, I didn't mean to buy that one, but that's the one we got. That's what she looks like. Don't look too bad. Beautiful.
Yep. Not bad flavour. I ended up chucking a couple of cheese sticks that I had left. They were a bit sweaty, and I figured I'd better off to eat them now than let them sweat overnight, and might make me crook. But, yeah, not bad flavour. I'm enjoying that one. Not super hungry anyway, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going to finish this and then jump into bed. I'll show you my sleep system tomorrow when it's light. I've got a stretcher, so something different. And yeah, I'm just hoping it just gives me a really good sleep. But yeah, anyway, I don't have to go to the river tomorrow because I've got enough water up here that I can just hike out with what I've got. So I'll probably start pretty high tomorrow, just have a bit of a look around, stash my gear and get out of here before it gets too hot. It's meant to be pretty warm tomorrow. So. Anyway, had a reasonable day. I think I saw 6 all up. But yeah. Anyway, good night, and I'll catch you in the morning.
Bloody pesky. Pesky's got a friend.
First 2 for the morning. Been slim pickings. Been sitting down here before the sun, or the sky started to glow. Might start to see a few now. It's been a little bit hard to glass. It's going to be a cracker day. There's no clouds, but feels like there's a bit of moisture in the air, so that's sort of hard to glass through it. Geez, they look in good condition. Yeah, so I've only been able to pick up that hind and yearling this morning. Couldn't find any of the deer from last evening, and yeah. Anyway, sun's just beaming in on a couple of north faces there, and that's sort of a bit of a reminder that it's going to be warm today. So even though it's quite cool right now, you're going to go back up to camp, pack up and head out. So yeah, old Pesky paid me a visit last night. Did a bit of a silhouette show for me on the other side of the tent with the full moon. You could see him, and he was rubbing on the side of the tent. Anyway, I give him a bit of a love tap, and that got rid of him. But yeah, doesn't matter what I do, he just keeps annoying me. He must think it's a great joke. But anyway, I'm gonna get moving now. I'll show you a bit of the gear when I get back up there. So there's the stretcher. I think it's called Planet Earth, Explore Planet Earth, Pegasus Deluxe. Yeah, I just had this old mattress from 20 years ago in the shed, and I thought, oh, I'll just come in. And it was staying inflated, but I did have it just sitting on top of the pack on the way in here, and I did bump into some overhead branches, so I must have poked a hole in it somewhere. Anyway, says it's a 2-man tent, but geez, you'd be friendly. One with all your gear. So anyway, a little Vango went alright. It's only just long enough for me. Can't remember what they're called, but no real flavour. Sort of looks like an onion, but you need a fair few of them to get a feed though, wouldn't you? Anyway, Fraser taught me about that one. Apparently that little flowery thing points to where the bulb is. Anyway, I'd snapped it off getting it out because it's a bit rocky there, but dug down a bit deeper and found that little bulb. So anyway, bit of bush tucker. Right, I've just pulled up on the top of the ridge here. There's a nice bit of breeze, and I'm sweating like hell and doing it a bit hard today, so thought I'd pull up and just do a quick look at this rifle. Some of you might have picked up on it. It's a Howa Superlite. It's in a 308, and the reason why I've bought it is because it is the lightest factory rifle that you can buy, and it, for the money, is what I would call cheap. Now I know $1,550 or whatever their retail is isn't cheap, as in you can buy a Tikka for that sort of money and you're getting a stainless action and bolt and all the rest of it, and barrel I should say. But this rifle has some pretty cool features and is miles in front of a lot of rifles, 3 times its price. So weight wise, it's the bare rifle is just over 2 kilos, like 2 kilos and 70 grams or something. It's got a 20-inch steel barrel with a thread protector, so it is cut for a muzzle brake or a suppressor. Not that you can have one in Australia, but it has a limb saver recoil pad, but it's a super slimline one. It's relatively soft, and look, this rifle does kick a bit, but it's not harsh in any way. It has 2-stage trigger, 3-position safety, which is an awesome feature. So basically, that's empty, cocked, all the way back is bolt is locked, so is the trigger. One forward, still got the trigger locked, but you can work the bolt. And then obviously all the way forward is fire. What else has it got? So it's got a detachable box magazine, holds 3 rounds, bit of polymer, clicks in there pretty nice. Yeah, but the it also comes with this Picatinny rail, which for me it's a fairly tall one, and like this is a tiny little scope. This is a 2.5 to 8 by 36 Leopold. But that's too much gap for me, so I've ordered some Tally lightweight one-piece rings and bases to go directly onto the action, and they're in lows, so they're going to bring it right down to, you know, maybe a 5mm gap, which will be nice, which will bring down the scope, because you haven't got a high comb here or a cheek piece. You know, you want to bring that scope down as low as possible to really get a good feel. But prone and sort of sitting like this scope is prone, standing, off the shoulder and sort of sitting, the scope height doesn't bother me. But I noticed when I was sighting it in, when I was laying down, I was having to sort of lift my head a little bit, and it was a little bit unnatural. So when that scope comes down a bit lower, it'll be much more enjoyable to shoot prone. So I've done the barrel break-in on this, which is 1 shot clean for 10 shots, then 2 shots clean for another 10 shots, so 20 shots all up. Went through that process just with just running factory ammo, and showed a little bit of potential even with cleaning in between all the shots. So I had a half a dozen different packets of factory ammo in that 150 to 165 grain bracket, which I figure is probably a good compromise between velocity and bullet weight in a 308. Never had such a small caliber for hunting deer, so I'm sort of sticking with that sort of, that size grain bullet. My theory is a little bit more velocity, a little bit smaller bullet would be a good thing. So on the packet, those bullets are advertised at 2820, 2840 feet a second. I'm assuming that's going to be out of a 24-inch barrel, so we're going to lose a little bit of velocity there. So I'm guessing somewhere around that 2650 velocity with this rifle. But yeah, so all up, as this package sits with the sling and the scope and mounts minus the bullets, it's around about 2.6, 2.7 kilos, which when you compare that to another really popular rifle like a Tikka, it's about the same weight as a bare rifle. So a Tikka with no scope or mounts or sling weighs the same amount as this rifle ready to go, and that's why I've been really interested in this rifle for a while, and decided to pull the trigger on it for this season. So I'll be using this as a bit of a backup guide gun. I haven't been carrying a rifle when I've been guiding, but I did have a big stuff up on a big stag, and that stag would have easily been put out of his misery had I have had a rifle on me, but I didn't, and so therefore, we've unfortunately lost that stag. So I've decided I'm going to carry this rifle now. The big thing was weight. I didn't want to be carrying my 4.2 kilo Model 70 around the bush for just maybe. So I figured something that is as light as possible, that can strap to my pack and come off maybe once a season. If hopefully it never has to happen again. That was what I was looking for. I did look at Kimber, Montana, and the Adirondack, which is like a 18-inch barreled Kimber, and it comes in a 308, 7mm08, I think. But like, you look at it, $4,500-$5,000 if you can even find one, because I think they're discontinued. But $1,500 for one of these, and it's actually about 300 grams lighter, 400 grams lighter than the Kimber. How they've done that is they've actually shortened the action significantly, I think, and they've taken a fair bit of weight out of the bolt. Obviously only a 20-inch, fairly thin profile barrel and a carbon fibre stock. Now they have chimped a little bit here with a plastic bottom metal, which I'm not a fan of, and I'm sure someone will make an aftermarket one day, and it will be in the mail ASAP, like I have done with all my Tikkas. But overall, like, I have only really I might have put 40 rounds through this rifle. Only maybe 4 3-shot groups at 100. It's shooting pretty good. Look, I haven't spent a heap of time behind it yet, but it is in that sort of 1.25 to 1.5 inch at 100 yards with factory ammo. Regularly, the worst group I've seen was just a touch over 2 inches, I think. But that it didn't seem to really like that ammo. Whereas it's fairly partial to these Hornady Super Performance in a 165 grain SST. It's shooting these around about that 1.25 inch regularly, nice little groups. And to be honest with you, that's more than good enough for this rifle. It's probably a 300-yard rifle, so 1.5 inch groups at 100. You're looking at 4.5, 5-inch groups at 300. I'm not missing the vitals of a deer. It isn't the easiest rifle to shoot as far as holding steady. You've sort of got to get your head around that the crosshairs are just going to have a little wobble no matter how still you think you are, because of the overall package being so light. It's physically practically impossible to hold it as steady as a heavy rifle. But once you get your head past, there's going to be a little bit of shimmer on your crosshair, you actually surprise yourself how good a grips you will shoot with it. It does have a little bit of recoil considering it's only a 308, but because it is so light, that power to weight ratio, I suppose you call it, does come into effect. So it's not what I'd call a kid's gun, but it is threaded. So if you did put an efficient muzzle brake on, this would be a great youth rifle, and be awesome for your average size woman, purely because it's so light to carry and shoulder. What I have found is, although it's a little bit more difficult to shoot prone accurately, sitting at its stock ergonomics are really good. And even though I've got big hands and long arms, like, it doesn't feel like a toy, like it probably should feel like a toy. The weight it is, the size it is, like, it's very compact. But to me, I'm really happy with carrying this rifle, and like, I haven't shot anything with it yet, but I had the crosshairs on a couple of deer yesterday afternoon at about 150 yards, and like, I felt confident that if that was a deer that I wanted to take, it was in trouble. So one thing I'll say, I've never had a 2-stage trigger. Actually, I lie, I had a 22 with a 2-stage trigger years and years ago when I was a kid, but I'm pretty happy with it. The first part of the take-up is basically, no pressure at all. And from the factory, with a trigger gauge, I think it was breaking 2 pounds 15 on average, I think. So 2 pounds 15 ounces, so just a touch under 3 pounds. and I took the liberty of adjusting the trigger because it is adjustable, and I've got it breaking at about 2 pounds 3 ounces now, and yeah, it's certainly not needed to be replaced. People have talked about springs, but you know, at 2 pounds, I don't know if it really needs it. Maybe I'll get my bloody light trigger thing going again, but on my Model 70 I'm running around 2 pounds or just under, so you know, it's probably a good match. Yeah, but overall it's great to carry. It does point pretty well, to be honest with you, for such a short rifle. Like years ago I did have a little A-bolt stainless stalker and 300 WSM, which was sort of similar size to this thing, a little bit heavier, and I actually hated that rifle in the end and got rid of it. But this actually feels, yeah, really nice to point. Yeah, so there will be a long running review on this rifle, and I will do a full breakdown rifle review on this as well, right into the shooting of it and pull it apart and show you all the bedding and you know, what everything weighs, because everyone wants to know what do things weigh. Pretty sure the stock was like 595 grams or something like that. It's ridiculously light. Yeah, but so far she's a big tick for me. There's a few little things that I will change, I reckon, eventually when aftermarket parts become available, like that plastic on here, maybe a trigger spring, possibly a muzzle brake, just to tame it down and make it a little bit easier to shoot. I think those groups would shrink a little bit with the muzzle brake because it does sort of buck around a bit. It's quite difficult to hold steady. It's not a rifle that you can just let free recoil. You have to hold on to it. You have to give it fore-end support. It's just a different beast to shoot compared to what a lot of people are used to. And I think that's where really light rifles get a bad rap, is people come from, say, a standard 8 or 9 pound rifle, and they come down to something that's like ready to shoot under 6 pounds. You've got to learn how to shoot these things. They're different altogether compared to a standard rifle. But anyway, that's enough jibber jabber for today. Keep your eyes out. I will do a full review on this rifle, including what ammo it likes. I think I've got 6 different factory loads at home for this rifle, so we can go right through and work out what it likes and what it doesn't, how it performs, and yeah, a full breakdown on all the features of it. But I just thought I'd give you a quick one up the bush here and give me a break from walking up the hill. So I'll be sweating my butt off on the way out, and yeah, get back home for lunch. Oh yeah, too warm for walking in these hills. But anyway, better than sitting on the couch. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment. If you've got the ability, jump over to Patreon, support the channel in any way you can. Jump on the free one, it all helps. Anyway, I'm going to strip off some gear, peel off some gear, get these boots off, and have a nice cold drink that's waiting for me in the ute. Whew, that was hard work. Lacked a bit of motivation there in the middle, but pushed through after a bit of a break. It's all up in here. Sometimes it's the legs, but more often than not it's here. Most people have got the legs, most people have got the lungs. Got to have it in your head that you want to do it.